There we go. So we're on to red now. I will probably have to take a pause and go get a drink at some point. But going to the bathroom so close to the end of black because I was really needed to kind of threw everything out of whack. But whatever. Let's just go through on red. Starting with Ashling Rekindled. Okay. Whenever this creature enters or transforms to Ashling Rekindled, discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Okay, loot, sure. And at the beginning of your next end step, you can play blue. If you do, transform. Ashling Rhymebound. Whenever this creature transforms into Ashling Rhymebound at the beginning of your first main phase, add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast spells with mana value 4 or greater. Then you can transform him back to... What did I just do? What? Why is that what it does? Okay, no idea why that does that, but anyway. Sure, you can transform it back to discard a card and draw a card. So you have loot whenever if you need it, or you can get 2 mana towards a big thing. What big? I mean, we saw that giant cyclonic for all creatures that aren't elementals creature. And then there was the blue one that costs 6, and that you draw cards equal to different colors. I mean, okay. Not incredible, but not terrible either. I mean, it does only cost 2, right? So you essentially pay 2 for a 1/3 that lets you discard and draw. And then if you want more mana, I imagine if you're transforming it, you have an idea for what you want to do with the mana. Right? Because you can, so you play Ashling on 2, and then next turn you pay 1 to transform him. Which gives you 2 mana. Then you play another mana, so you still have 4. So you can play a spell immediately as long as it costs exactly 4. Okay, sure. Again, we'd have to see what the elementals are like, but this looks like probably the enabler for the elemental package if they're all big and cost 4 or more. Boldweir Aggressor. Hey, a giant. A 5 mana 2/5 with double strike, and other giants have double strike. I mean, depending on the other giants, that's fucking terrifying in limited, right? Double strike is the most terrifying keyword. Because double strike changes an amount of combat damage to lethal pretty fucking sharpish. Yeah. Yeah, that's terrifying. She does cost 5. Again, and we've only seen one other giant, and it was the 7/7 guy. But together with the 7/7 guy, these two almost kill you if they get an attack off and don't get blocked. But maybe they're probably going to be too expensive to be good, the giants. Maybe? I don't know. Bone Club Berserker is a 4 mana 2/4 that gets +2/+0 for each other goblin you control. Oh, that could get pretty big pretty quick, actually. That could just be a big boy. Because all you need is one other goblin, and this is a 4/4 for 4. Which, I mean, you're going to have on the field, right? 2 goblins makes it a 6/4. It doesn't have anything to go over the top, but in limited, this could just be so huge your opponent has to put something under the bus and get creamed every time it attacks. I don't hate this if you're going goblins. Boulder Dash. 2 mana, deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to any other target. Sure, it's not very good. We pay 1 mana in this household for 2 damage. We pay shock damage. This is more expensive shock because it does maybe another damage. Like, if this kills 2 things, this is great. But if it doesn't, this is just worse shock. Brambleback Brute. Another giant. 3 mana for a 4/5. Enters with... So it's a 3 mana 2/3. But you can remove a counter. Target creature can't block this turn. Okay. I don't hate it. I like the -1/-1 synergy stuff. And, like, while this isn't the most exciting -1/-1 payoff, you can make one thing not block. She's also a 3 mana 4/5 because you can probably do it twice on the following turn. So you just make 2 things unable to block and then you have a 4/5 that can swing. It still seems kind of mediocre, but sure. Burning Curiosity. 3 mana. As an additional cost, you may blight 1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. If this spell's cost was paid, exile 3. Till the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Okay, so it's Impulse. Whatever it's called. Impulse Draw? I mean, 3 mana for 2 cards is about right. Or is it? It's usually 2 mana for 2 cards, right? So, but 3 mana for 3 cards. And again, Blight I'm not seeing as a downside, because generally I think if you're taking this card, you're playing the -1/-1 synergy deck. So you're probably fine with this. So this is 3 mana to exile the top 3 cards, and then you can play them next turn. Again, usually I just, you know... I would just prefer to have, like, actual creature cards, but this isn't terrible. I'm more of, like, more creatures, less... The only instance and sorceries I want to be running in limited really are removal, but maybe this is fine. Champion of the Path. Okay. It is a 4 mana 7/3. Whenever another elemental you control enters, deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Oh, so not himself. So he doesn't just dome your opponent for 7. That would be fucking hilarious. Okay. I mean, this guy's huge, but only on the front half, which means he probably just dies. Right? Like, this probably just gets... I mean, we haven't seen any burn removal that would kill this. But we've seen plenty of creatures big enough to block this and kill it. So, it kind of depends if you're just leaving this back and blocking like 1/1s and 2/2s with him. And then using elementals to just deal their damage to each opponent. But he's the biggest elemental we've seen. So unless we've got another one of him, power-wise at least. We saw the flying thing was a 5/5. But that was mostly dangerous because it Cyclonic Rifted all non-elementals and then also was a flyer. I'd probably pick this just on the back of it being a fucking 7/3, right? You just play this and threaten to bonk your opponent for 7. Right? And that's probably what happens. Oh, that's the wrong button. Cinder Strike. 1 mana sorcery. You may blight. Deals 2 damage to a creature. It deals 4 damage instead if the blight was paid. Yep, this is more like it. I mean, it's sorcery speed, so again, it's still worse than shock. But and it only does it to creatures, not players as well. So definitely 100% worse than shock. But this is actual removal that you would be happy to take, right? Because it is 2 damage for 1 mana, and if you blight something, 4 damage for 1 mana, which is good. Collective Inferno. 5 mana for a Convoke enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Double all damage that sources you control of the chosen type would deal. That's quite funny with the champion, right? Double all damage from elementals, and then you just start playing elementals and just doming them for double that elemental's power. That's quite funny. But this is... So this is a bad limited card. It's a 5-mana enchantment that reads... well, maybe you can convoke it out for like 3 or 4. But it's... I do nothing. Because if you don't have... I guess it doubles the power of, like, if you're playing on the defense, you play this and your opponent no longer wants to attack into you because your creatures have double power, so if they swing, you get crushed. But, like, by itself, this does nothing. By itself, this is pay 5 and go, when I have creatures of the chosen type, they will deal damage. Right? Like, it doesn't do very much by itself. Elder Ante, a 3-mana 2/2. When it enters, create a 1/1. Sure. This is very, very goblin. Endblaze Epiphany. Ooh, an X. 1 red and X for an instant. Endblaze Epiphany deals X damage to target creature. When that creature dies this turn, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to its power. Then choose a card exiled this way. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. I mean, this is removal. It's like... weird removal, but sure. I think if I saw this, I'd take it, because, again, it's just removal. But, yeah, a bit weird removal. I don't know. I mean, it probably kills anything, assuming you can make the you can pump the mana for it, so... Sure. Enraged Flamecaster. 3 mana for a 3/2 with reach. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Sure. This is a very generic card as well. Explosive Prodigy. When it enters, it deals X damage to a creature and opponent controls, or X is... oh, so 2. Generally, this is going to do 2, maybe 3 damage to something. But it is a 2-mana 1/1, right? If this is... I play my 2-mana 1/1 and deal 2 damage and kill something off of your side of the board. That's not bad. By turn 3, you won't have, 3 colors, so yeah. I mean, even on turn 2, just play my 1/1, ping your 1/1 or 2/1. Not awful. Mostly just because it's stapled to it's a creature that has removal stapled to itself. It's bad removal, don't get me wrong. But as long as it removes something, I mean, it's not the worst ever. Beat the Flames. 4 mana instant, deals 5 damage to a creature. If it would die this turn, exile it instead. Better. This is removal. Sure. A bit expensive. 4 mana for 5 damage is a bit much, but sure. Flame Chain Mauler. 2 mana for a 2/2. This creature gets +1/+0 and menace until end of turn for 1 red and a generic. Sure. This probably is just like the early game the elemental package needs, right? I don't hate it, so sure. Flame Braider. 2 mana for a 2/2. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors, only to cast elemental spells or activate ability. Yeah, sure. This is elemental mana nerd. Okay. You specifically have to be in elementals for this to be good, but, like, sure. Flamekin Guildweaver. 4 mana for a 4/3 with trample. When it enters, create a treasure. Again, very generic, very just okay. Giant Fall. 2 mana, instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or opponent control. We got fight in red now? Sure. Okay. I mean, this isn't fight, this is deal damage, I suppose. But this is usually a green thing. Or destroy target artifact. This is removal. I mean, usually red would get better removal than this, but we haven't seen a massive amount of great removal in red, so maybe you just take this. Goat Nap. Gain 3 mana, gain control. Okay, so it's your usual deal for red. Until end of turn, it gains haste. If that creature is a goat, it also gains +3/+. Oh, have we seen a goat? Is there a goat that we've missed somewhere? Okay. Yeah. Gain control, untap, it gains haste, and then if you can sacrifice it, your opponent gets sad. Sure. Goliath Daydreamer. A 4-mana 4/4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among cards you own in exile with dream counters on them without paying its mana cost. This is good. Right? Double up all of my instants and sorceries. Like, again, you're not going to use many instants and sorceries in limited, really. But this isn't like a terrible creature that's doing this. This is a 4-mana 4/4 that's doing it, right? You probably don't mind swinging your 4-mana 4/4 and getting some extra value out of it. I like this card. I think this card's great. Yeah. I'd pick this. Gristle Glutton. A 2-mana 1/3, blight 1, discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Sure. Like, there's Loot and Engine and Blight Engine, I guess. Very meh. This would be bottom of the barrel if I need Blight, I would take this. Hexing Squelcher. Okay, 2-mana 2/2. The spell can't be countered. Ward, pay 2 life. Spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have ward, pay 2 life. Oh, the blue players are like imploding right now. Oh, I like this card. Can I just have an honorary this in every deck I play? Am I allowed just an honorary this in every deck? I might have to splash red in every single deck for the next 3 years so I can have this in the deck. Just so I can watch blue players lose their fucking mind. In Limited, this, I don't know how good this is, because again, you're not going to be getting countered in Limited, but giving all of your creatures ward pay 2 life is still going to be an absolute nightmare for your opponent, right? Like, they have to kill this guy immediately, even in Limited. So, like, again, like, he's not a very scary attacker. He's a 2-mana 2/2, which is fine. But he's not exactly scary by himself. But every creature you have having ward pay 2 life just means that when you do play something scary, your opponent has to pay life to kill it. Which I imagine means they just have to kill this guy. This is funny. I like this card. Again, can I just run this in every deck I am playing going forward? I suppose, to be fair, the issue is, even if you play 4 of them, your opponent's just going to pay 8 life and just shoot this guy 4 times. Which is sad. But that is a very funny card. I like that card. Impolite Entrance. 1-mana sorcery type creature gains trample and haste. Draw a card. Sure. It's a cantrip. 1-mana card that draws a card, so sure. Kindle the Inner Flame. 4 mana for a sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token with flashback if you behold 3 elemental. I mean, so by itself, that doesn't look too interesting. But, like, specifically with, like, where is he? This guy? You just make a champion, deal 7. And then, if you can pay the extra 2 in the behold cost, you can make another champion, deal 14, and kill your opponent, right? So if you have one of these guys out for 4 mana, right? So you've already proven you've got 4 mana. All you need to do is get to 6. And then you create a token that's a copy, then flashback to create another token. They're sorcery speed, so your opponent can just remove them. But if they can't do any... Again, this is Magical Christmas Land. But you can make a token that's a 7/3. It deals 7 damage when it comes in because the first one sees it. Then you can make a token of the 7/3 that deals 14 damage because the first 2 tokens see it. And they both have haste, so they can attack. I mean, that's 21 damage as is, but then you can also attack for a further 14 damage. So 35 damage. That's quite entertaining, right? That is mildly funny. Like, it's not good. This is very Magical Christmas Land, and again, I think I just prefer to have a creature rather than be able to make temporary copies of it. But the Magical Christmas Land is very funny. Zolrath Zealot, a 6 mana, 6/5. When it enters, exile top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play it, and it's got basic land cycling. Sure, fine. I'd probably take it just for the basic land cycling, if I'm honest. Don't hate it. Lasting Tarfire. 2 mana, enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn, this deals 2 damage to each opponent. Fine inside the Blight deck. I think if I had the option between this and almost any other Blight card, I would take any other Blight card. Because I think it'd be better just to kill your opponent by beating the shit out of them and using all your Blight synergies to, like, remove all of their stuff. And just get, like, value that way. But maybe you just want to do this and slowly whittle them down. This could be the, like, 2 to 6 damage that pushes you over the edge and kills your opponent. So maybe this is good, but I probably just wouldn't because I would just do more Blight things. But I don't think this is bad. Lava Leaper, a 4 mana 4/4. So this has haste, and all creatures have haste. Whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type to that land. Okay. So, this is a 4 mana 4/4, your game explodes. Which, again, I've already spin through this with the black card that lets you look for any card you want and put it into your hand. Lets all players look for any card they want to put it into your hand. Unless you are 100,000% sure that your deck is just better than your opponent's, this is a bad idea. Right? Because you play this for 4, and it has haste, and, like, mana taps for whatever. You pass to your opponent. He has, let's say he's on the same amount of mana. He's on 4. He now has 8 mana, and his creatures have haste. Because this is everything. This is a surefire way for the game to go from 0 to 100 fucking immediate. So unless you are 100,000% sure that your deck is better than your opponent's, this is a bad idea. And you should not do this in Limited. Maybe I will in one of my streams when I'm streaming some draft on MTG Arena. Maybe I'll do a deck with Lava Leaper in it just for the fun. And every single time we get Lava Leaper, we'll play it and see how quickly the game fucking implodes. But this is a surefire way to get yourself fucking destroyed. Meek Attack. 3 mana for an enchantment. 2 mana, you may put a creature card with total power and toughness 5 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste at the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice. This is Sneak Attack. Shitty Sneak Attack, right? I mean, it's not shitty. This is weenie Sneak Attack. Sneak Attack is essentially exactly the same, right? That's why it's called Meek Attack. Sneak attack MTG. Sneak attack was 4 mana, and then 1, put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. It gains haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. Okay. So, it comes down a turn earlier, but it costs more to activate over multiple turns. I think this is still fine. The creature card with total power and toughness 5 or less is a interesting stipulation. There's probably some cards that break this, but I don't know if there are any in the set that break this. So I think I'm going to go with this as bad as a limited card. It's probably incredible in Commander, in maybe even in Standard, or in other formats. Like, I don't know if it's going to be good enough to get into like Legacy or anything like that, but in other formats. But I think in Limited, this isn't good enough. It is funny, though. So maybe we do something with it anyway, because it's funny if we see it in Limited. But I don't think this is good enough. Maybe someone will make a deck out of it in Standard, so maybe we'll still see it. But yeah, I don't know about this. Reckless Ransacking. 2 mana instant, target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn, create a treasure token. Sure. Very generic pump and leave a treasure. Sure. Scuzzback Scrounger. A 2 mana 3/2. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1. If you do, create a treasure token. Yeah, I like this. It's a blight engine that gives you mana. I'm fine with that. That's probably really good, actually. Especially if you have ways to remove the blight, so you can just keep this up and just constantly making treasure. Did we see, like, a blight that was 1 mana to remove something? Because then this just pays for itself, like, easily. Because you can just make the treasure, and then you can pay with the treasure. I don't know. Yeah, I like this card. Again, I have a bit of a personal preference on the -1/-1 cards, because I think it's a very, very interesting mechanic. But, sure. Seer. 2 mana, deal 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Hey! And it's instant speed. I mean, you can't bolt your opponent in the face with it, but I'll take it. This is some proper removal. Sizzling Changeling. My throat's starting to get very sore already. This is depressing. Alright. 3 mana for a 3/2 Changeling. When this creature dies, exile top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Sure. This is great. It's a 3 mana 3/2, so it's got fine stats, and then you just swing it like crazy or block with it, and you don't really care, and you get an extra card off the top. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. Soul Immolation. Jesus. I'm not even sure what's going on that screen. On that card. Right. 5 mana. As an additional cost to cast this spell, Blight X. X can't be greater than the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Soul Immolation deals X to each opponent and each creature they control. Holy shit, this is like the Blight nuke. I like this. Oh my fucking god, that's crazy, right? Again, the issue is, like, maybe you only have like a 2/2 or a 3/3 and this doesn't do anything. But this is what this spell. Do you want to know what this spell needs as well? It needs to have Wither. That would be so funny. Just fucking one of my creatures explodes and deals X damage to you, and all of your creatures get that many -1/-1 counters. God, they should have given it Wither. Fuck. Come on. That would have been funny. Fine. No, this is, I like this. This is hilarious. I don't think... Yeah, no, because this is like one-sided board wipe territory. This is actually one-sided board wipe territory, right? You've got a big toughness thing, and you just go nuclear with Soul Immolation on that one thing. It just completely annihilates your opponent's board and hits them in the face. Yeah, this is like... This is actually a one-sided board wipe. Yeah, I like this card. Soulbright Seeker is a 1 mana 2/1. As an additional cost, behold, sure. 1 mana, target creature you control gains trample until end of turn. If this is the 3rd time this ability has resolved this turn, add 4. Okay. Sure. So you tap 3 red to give 3 things trample, and then you get 4 in return. So then you can still play whatever you wanted that costs 4 or more. Sure, I guess. I mean, you can target the same thing 3 times. You can give the same creature trample 3 times just to use this as a way to like, if you have 3 red, this just gives you 4. Okay. A bit of a weird thing, like giving trample leading to 4 extra mana, but sure, okay. Sour Bread Auntie is a 4 mana 4/3. When it enters, you may blight 2. If you do, create tokens. Yep. Like this card. Because if you blight, you can blight 2 on a 1/1 token, and it's still, even though it dies, it still counts, right? So you'd still get 2 tokens to replace it. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a good card. This is another, like, good way, especially if you can, like, replay this or bounce it or do something like that. I don't know. I think this is just good by itself. It's technically 4 mana for a 6/5 because it's a 4/3 plus 2 1/1s. And I know you probably... Again, I like the Blight, though, because you get to choose where the -1/-1 counters. So, like, worst comes to worst, you kill off a token to replace it with 2 more. And best outcome is you put on something that actually benefits from the -1/-1 counters. And, like, you want them on them. Spine Rock Tyrant. Well, it's a flying 6/6 for 5, so you're taking this as soon as you see it. It has Wither, because of course it does. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with a single target, you may copy it. If you do, those spells gain Wither. You may... yeah, this is bonkers. This is a crazy dragon. I mean, you were taking this anyway just because it's a 5/5... It's a 6/6 flyer for 5. But also it's got Wither, and also it duplicates all your instant and sorcery spells and gives them Wither. Yeah, this is just silly. Might be the best card we've seen so far. Is the 5/5 flyer that flips into the 5/5 persist flying lifelinker? That might be best. That might be as good. But I think, is there anything else we've seen that's been as good so far? Was there anything in black that was really good? Not really. Yeah, I think this might be one of the best limited card we've seen so far. Walk Roaster. A 4 mana star 4 double strike. Power is equal to the number of colors among permanents you control. So 2, probably. 2 or 3. Or 1, 2, or 3. So it's going to be a 1/4, a 2/4, or a 3/4 with double strike. 2/4 with double strike isn't terrible for 4 mana. Not particularly exciting either, but it's not terrible. Again, unless they've got like a 5-color elemental, and then you'd be crazy to play that deck. I know there's a 5-color commander elemental deck, but like I don't think they printed the 5-color card into standard, did they? So this maybe this is like goes in that commander deck, and then they just also printed it in normal. I don't know. This feels kind of weird. Sting Slinger. 3 mana for a 3/3 with tap 2 blight, deals 2 damage to each opponent. These are okay, actually. Having 1 or 2 of these to like drain your opponent for the last like 4 to 8 health they've got after you've beaten them up for the first early turns with goblins is a good way to just, you know, finish off the game. So this I think is actually better than it appears. And it's just a 3-mana 3/3, so it's not even bad. So yeah. Tweeze. 3 mana for an instant, deals 3 damage to any target. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. Sure. I mean, again, this isn't lightning bolt. This isn't bolt good. It costs too much, but it's an instant speed, deal 3 damage. It's removal. You just take this, I imagine. Warren Torchmaster. 2 mana for a 2/2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may blight 1. When you do, target creature gains haste until turn. Sure. This is actually, if this is I mean, I know technically you have to blight something, but it doesn't cost any mana to give something haste, and you don't have to tap this creature. This is a good way to make sure you're always the aggressor. Yeah, I think this is actually better than it appears. Hey, we're on to green. All right, what did I think of red? I think this card's fucking bananas. Soul Immolation was also bonkers. There's some really good red cards. There's also some very silly stuff you can do. I don't know. Red seems to have a lot of like the good removal or good targeted damage stuff, or it has all the good targeted damage stuff, and it has some like a really good board wipe, assuming you. Yeah, I think this is just because even right like Soul Immolation, even if you're not playing a Blight deck, you just pick whatever the greatest toughness among creatures you control is, and then just nuke the board. Right? Like, you don't even have to be in Blight for this to be a good card. It is a board wipe. Maybe the elemental stuff I wasn't a big fan of, but the goblins are all -1/-1 synergy, which I like. And then it was just like a lot of damage stuff. Yeah, I think actually red's probably one of the better colors. What am I ranking these colors at the moment? I think blue's the worst. Again, I don't like blue. But I think blue's the worst so far. Then black. Weird as that is to say, because usually black gets everything they could ever want and then more. But I think it's what? Blue, then black, then white, and then red? I don't know, black did have a lot of cool blight shenanigans, right? I don't know.